Imagine a world where one man controlled the pulse of organized crime, a figure so powerful, even the law had to play by his rules. That man was Charles "Lucky" Luciano, a name etched into the dark chronicles of the Mafia. How did one immigrant rise to become the architect of America's underworld? And what shocking truths lie behind his legacy? Lucky Luciano wasn't born a kingpin. He was born Salvatore Lucania in 1897 in Sicily, Italy. His family immigrated to the United States when he was just 9 years old, settling in the teeming streets of Manhattan's Lower East Side. From a young age, Luciano showed he wasn't interested in an honest living. By his teenage years, he was running petty street gangs, learning the art of survival in a world where toughness and cunning were everything. But here's the twist. Luciano didn't just rely on brute force. He had a genius for strategy. While other gangsters fought for scraps, Luciano dreamed of building an empire. He didn't just want to control crime, he wanted to revolutionize it. Before Luciano's rise, the Mafia was a chaotic mess. Rival families fought bloody wars over territories and profits. There was no central authority, no rules, just chaos. Luciano looked at this mess and saw an opportunity. He believed that organized crime needed to be just that, organized. He envisioned a mafia that operated like a corporation, with clear leadership, rules, and systems to maximize profits and minimize unnecessary violence. This vision would soon lead him to orchestrate one of the most shocking events in Mafia history, the elimination of the Old Guard. The Castellamarese War was a brutal power struggle between two Mafia factions in the late 1920s and early 1930s. At the center were Joe Masuria and Salvatore Maranzano, two old-school bosses who hated each other. Luciano initially worked for Masuria, but he grew tired of the old boss's outdated ways. Masuria was greedy and ruthless, but he lacked vision. Luciano, always the strategist, saw an opportunity to change everything. In 1931, Luciano betrayed Masuria in a move that shocked the underworld. He arranged for Masuria to be assassinated while they were dining together. But Luciano wasn't done. A few months later, he turned on Maranzano as well, orchestrating his murder in his own office. With both bosses dead, Luciano declared himself the new leader of the Mafia. But he didn't take the title of boss of bosses. Instead, he created a commission, a governing body made up of the most powerful Mafia families in the country. This was his genius, sharing power to prevent infighting. The commission was a revolutionary idea. Luciano divided the Mafia into 5 main families, each with its own boss, underboss, and consigliere. This system ensured that no single family could dominate the others, reducing the risk of wars. But make no mistake, Luciano was the true power behind the scenes. His influence was unmatched, and everyone knew it. Under Luciano's leadership, the Mafia expanded into gambling, loan sharking, drug trafficking, and even legitimate businesses. He turned crime into a well-oiled machine, generating millions of dollars. But here's the kicker. Luciano didn't just stop at running the Mafia. He infiltrated labor unions, controlled politicians, and even had the military on his side during World War II. Yes, you read that right. The U.S. government actually worked with Luciano. During World War II, the U.S. Navy was desperate to secure its ports against sabotage. Enter Lucky Luciano. In 1942, the Navy struck a secret deal with Luciano, who was serving a prison sentence at the time. In exchange for his help in protecting the docks and aiding the Allied invasion of Sicily, Luciano's sentence was reduced. This shocking alliance between the government and the Mafia remains one of the most bizarre chapters in American history. What does it say about Luciano's power that even behind bars, he could negotiate with the U.S. military? How many other criminals could claim such influence? Luciano's network of influence was staggering. He worked with infamous gangsters like Meyer Lansky, Bugsy Siegel, and Frank Costello, each a legend in their own right. Lansky, the financial genius, helped Luciano launder millions through offshore accounts. Siegel, the visionary behind Las Vegas, brought the Mafia into the glamorous world of casinos. And Costello, the prime minister of the underworld, managed political connections that kept the Mafia untouchable for years. But Luciano's reach didn't stop there. He had judges, cops, and even journalists on his payroll. Random fact: Luciano was known for his charm and wit, which he used to win over everyone from corrupt officials to high society elites. One theory even suggests that Luciano had blackmail material on prominent politicians, ensuring their loyalty. No empire lasts forever, and Luciano's was no exception. In 1936, he was convicted on charges of compulsory prostitution, a crime that shocked even his fellow gangsters. While Luciano claimed he was framed, the evidence was damning. He was sentenced to 30 to 50 years in prison, but as we know, even prison couldn't contain his influence. After his deal with the Navy during World War II, Luciano's sentence was commuted, and he was deported to Italy in 1946. But exile didn't stop him. Luciano continued to run his operations from Naples, proving that his reach truly was global. Luciano's legacy is as controversial as it is fascinating. Some see him as a criminal mastermind who brought order to chaos. Others view him as a ruthless killer who built his empire on blood and betrayal. One wild theory suggests that Luciano had plans to expand the Mafia into an international organization, with branches in Europe, Asia, and South America. While there's little evidence to support this, it's a testament to how far his vision extended. Random fact: Luciano reportedly loved high fashion and was always impeccably dressed. He believed that appearances were crucial to maintaining respect and authority. Imagine a gangster who understood the power of branding decades before it became a business buzzword. Here are a few bizarre and shocking details about Luciano. He survived a brutal attack in 1929 that left him with a permanently scarred face and drooping eyelid. This earned him the nickname Lucky. He was obsessed with American movies and often modeled himself after suave Hollywood gangsters. Luciano's influence was so vast that even after his death in 1962, the Mafia's structure and operations remained largely unchanged for decades. Lucky Luciano's life is a story of ambition, betrayal, and power. He wasn't just a gangster. He was a visionary who reshaped the underworld and left a legacy that continues to fascinate and terrify. But here's the ultimate question. Was Luciano a necessary evil, a man who brought order to chaos? Or was he simply the most dangerous criminal America ever produced? The answer lies somewhere in the shadows, where crime and power intersect. What do you think, mystery junkies? Was Lucky Luciano a mastermind or a monster? Lucky Luciano's story doesn't just belong to the pages of crime history. It's a tale that redefined what it meant to wield power in the shadows. He was a man who turned chaos into an empire, proving that even in the world of crime, order could prevail if you were ruthless enough to enforce it. His influence touched everything from politics to the military, blurring the lines between legality and corruption. But perhaps what makes Luciano's legacy so haunting is its duality. He was both a visionary leader and a man responsible for untold violence and suffering. He showed that power, when unchecked, can create as much destruction as it does order. Even today, his fingerprints can be seen in the way modern organized crime operates, a chilling reminder of just how far his vision extended. So, as we close the book on Lucky Luciano, one question lingers. Can we ever truly separate the mastermind from the monster? Perhaps his legacy isn't just about the empire he built, but the questions he left behind. What do you think, mystery junkies? Was he a necessary force of change, or the embodiment of corruption itself? The answer, as always, remains elusive, buried deep in the shadows of history. Outro. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the dark legacy of Lucky Luciano, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more chilling tales of history's most fascinating criminals. Until next time, keep digging into the mysteries